Hi, it's Rivki, and I am live here in Israel at the Lev Haolam office in Kfar Etzion, Kibbutz Kfar Etzion. I see that Georgia Ann has joined. Hi, Georgia Ann. As you join, my friends, if you want to drop an emoji flag or let me know where you are joining from, it's always just very nice for me to see where everyone is joining. Melissa, hi. It's always fun to see our regular crew and then also to welcome new people to our Lev Haolam live broadcast. It's a great time for us to share some community, to connect with people who share our same values. Of course, the central one of which being that we all love Israel, whether like me, you're lucky enough to have your 2 feet on the ground in Israel, or if you're somebody who is loving Israel from afar, from your home. So it's always very special for me to be able to spend some time with you. I was looking at my calendar and I suddenly realized that American Thanksgiving it's literally around the corner, I think it's 10 days or so away. And it got me to thinking just about counting our blessings, being grateful for things. I was very fortunate. I was raised by a woman, my mom, who had such an enormous amount of faith. She was the most spectacular example for me in terms of having faith, relying on God and appreciating God. She always used to say to me, you've got one job in this world, and that is to wake up in the morning and to count your blessings for every single thing, to thank God for every single thing. Thank God that you got up this morning. Thank God that you had breakfast, that you had your coffee, that, you had a lift to school, all of these things. And the truth of it is, my mom, it wasn't just lip service. When she passed away, I took 2 of her diaries that she kept all those years ago. And I love reading them because every single day she writes down all of the things that she's grateful for. And so if I ever have a down moment, I just go to my mom's diary and I open it up and I read through it, and it reminds me again of this is how you live life, And when you do, it makes the world better. It makes life better. I think this is definitely true. So this is a long way of saying this is why I was thinking about Thanksgiving and giving thanks, and the fact that, even in Israel, where we're over a year in a war, we're over a year with our hostages still, in the darkest place on earth, and yet we still find things that we are grateful for, that we can thank God for on a daily basis. And I think it's really important, that we can balance these 2 things, right? And I had asked you, those of you that saw the invitation, just to drop your gratitudes into the comments. And, I saw a lot of comments there that were about thanking God for making you who you were, or giving you your faith or your belief. And I thought that's really a nice thing, right, to be grateful for, because I think the more that we're grateful for something, the stronger we become in it. So I think that's awesome. Rachel, thank you. Thank you. That's a beautiful thought. So please feel free, as we're chatting, to share with me your gratitudes. I'd love to see them. This past weekend, I really became grateful in a whole nother way for the land of Israel. I'm just going to pause here. I see Susan, your mom is in ICU. Your dad is at the emergency room. Oh my goodness, if you can tell us what your mom's name is, I'm sure I certainly will be happy to pray for her here in Israel, and I'm sure that our community will be too. And you guys, this is what I mean about having something to be grateful for. What an incredible community we have, that we can support one another going through difficult things. There's nothing, I think, harder than seeing people you love in difficult situations with their health. It is truly the most difficult thing to go through. So, Susan, we really do pray that your mom has, as we say in Israel, refuah shlema, a full and complete recovery. So you guys, on Friday morning, I woke up and I saw the news, and I saw that there was a pogrom in Amsterdam. And I kind of was like shaking my head going, what on earth? This is insane. Like, it's 2024. How absolutely insane is it that there was a pogrom? It was pre-planned, it was carefully organized, and it was directed right at Israeli Jews. And seeing the footage that came from Amsterdam was just shocking. I mean, really, I found it so shocking. And immediately, Israel got together to send rescue planes to Amsterdam. Our Israeli airline, El Al, sent 6 rescue planes. 2 of them, in fact, even went on Shabbat. They got special permission from the Israeli rabbinate to fly on Shabbat, because normally, of course, they don't fly on Shabbat. But when a human life is at stake, you're able to do these things. But I was really grateful that we have the modern state of Israel, that we have this country that is the homeland of the Jewish people, that there was somebody to send a rescue plane and a place to bring them back, because when pogroms were happening in 1939, there was no safe harbor for Jewish people in Europe. And 6 years later, the most, terrible outcome, right, with the Holocaust. So I just thought, wow, are we blessed to have Israel? But more than that, are we blessed to have the people that we have in Israel? This is how my brain works. So I'm thinking about this rescue. I was thinking like, wow, how cool it was. And by the way, El Al is footing the bill for this. Millions of shekels it cost them to send these flights. They did not charge any of the Israelis that they rescued. Over like around 2,000 people they brought back free of charge. They're picking up the bill. And I thought, like, unbelievable, so incredible. And then suddenly I was curious about El Al. Now, I've heard stories back and forth. I know a little bit about El Al, but I thought I want to go kind of dig in a little bit and see who these people are, what this company is. And I thought that you would find it interesting too, because to me, El Al is sort of personification of Israel in many ways. When El Al was established, it was in 1948. So the birth of the modern state of Israel, and then right next to that, the establishment of the Israeli airline El Al. And the name, by the way, is very beautiful. Like many things in Israel, comes from the Bible, from the book of Hosea. Literally, it means to go up, right? And to the above. But poetically, it means to the skies. So 1948, they were established and they began flying. And in 1949, they had a huge growth. They doubled their fleet overnight by purchasing 2 used airplanes from American Airlines. And that was really the beginning of El Al. But in times of crisis, this airline has been like Johnny on the spot for Israelis. And it goes back all the way to 1948 and the establishment of the State of Israel. In 1948, there was a special operation called Operation Magic Carpet. And this special operation involved flying to Yemen to rescue Yemenite Jews and to bring them to the newly established State of Israel. And you can meet people in Israel still today who remember this operation. I have been at Shabbat dinners with a woman she was very, very old, and she remembers walking through the desert with her parents, getting on the air flight. She was a young girl, and flying to Israel. And you know that these Yemenite Jews who came with absolutely nothing. They traveled for days just to get to the airport so that they could get to safety. For many of them, they had never even seen an airplane, let alone getting onto an airplane. So talk about on the wings of eagles. They came soaring back to the Jewish homeland. In 1951, Operation Alibaba, El Al flew secret missions to Iraq to rescue Iraqi Jews. Isn't this incredible? And to bring them back home to the land of Israel. Just the most magnificent thing. And it didn't even stop there. There were many more operations that happened after that. In the 1990s, there was Operation Exodus, let my people go. And in this case, El Al flew millions of Jews from the newly opened former Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, and were able to bring them back home to the land of Israel. Like, wow, amazing. And then in 1991, probably I think the most astonishing rescue mission that El Al has done, which was Operation Solomon. It was a secret mission, a dangerous mission, but Israel and El Al were able to rescue thousands and thousands of Ethiopian Jews who would have otherwise probably not survived. And again, you can meet, because this is not long ago, it's just, 40 years or so ago, you can meet Ethiopians, Israeli Ethiopians, who remember very well the danger and the difficulty that they went through to be able to come home to the land of Israel. And this was something I did not know, which I thought was really cool. During Operation Solomon, the record was set for having the most people on board an airplane. And I wrote the number down so that I would get it right. 1,087 people on one airplane when they took off from Ethiopia, and when they landed in Israel. They already had set the world record for the most number of people on a plane, but when they landed, there were 1,088 people on board, because in addition to setting the record, a baby was born en route to Israel, which, how amazing. I mean, it's just, this is Israel for you. It's interesting to me. You can look at something that it's a commercial business, because some years ago, the company became privatized, right? So it's a privately held business. But it's amazing that even a business like this exhibits Israeli values, and it makes me very proud, and it makes me very grateful. Also, this year, many of you guys who've wished to come to Israel, to visit Israel, have had a really hard time coming in because flights have been canceled. There are a lot of airlines that just are not operating flights to Israel, and they haven't for a long time, and they don't plan to for a long time. It kind of feels a little bit like an air boycott, but in any case, El Al has been the airline that has continued to fly in and out of Israel. So in August, when we had our tour, every single one of our guests faced issues with their flights, and almost all of them were able to fly in and out of Israel on El Al, because El Al continues to fly no matter what. And this has been true through the history of the airline. In the 1967 Six-Day War, during the Yom Kippur War, during the Gulf War, when airlines refused to fly in and out of Israel, El Al was flying in and out of Israel. So it's an airline that just, it's there. It's there for Israelis in good times and in troubled times, which is fantastic. I'll tell you something else about El Al. I had heard this, and it got confirmed to me. In 1968, there were some terrorist attacks on the airline. And so El Al became the first airline to have what we now call air marshals on board. From 1968, continuing until today, there are always two plainclothes, undercover, you wouldn't know who they are, armed air marshals on board every single flight. And you guys, you think about that, it's really way ahead of the curve. I mean, this was decades before anybody else was doing it. In addition to that, El Al is the only commercial airline with anti-missile technology on board. And we're talking military-grade anti-missile technology. It can take care of surface-to-air missiles. So when you think about like what is the most secure airline that you could fly on. Welcome to El Al, welcome to Israel. We've earned all these distinctions the hard way, unfortunately, but nonetheless, it's something to really be grateful for, because it's, you know, somebody had to conceive of these ideas and figure out how to do it. And Melissa, yes, exactly. God is taking care of us in Israel. Thank God, you know? So there, the ultimate gratitude, which I think is something that's very unifying for all of us here this evening, is that we're grateful to God. We're grateful. I mean, there's not a day that goes by in Israel that I'm just not absolutely grateful. Yesterday, there was a drone attack from, I believe it was from Lebanon, but there was a drone attack and the warning system didn't work exactly as it should. And the drone made impact in Israel with a gun, which is like a preschool. And here's the miraculous thing in this story. The preschool teacher happened to hear from a long distance a siren. It was actually a siren from several kilometers away for a different area. And when she heard that siren, she, even though there was not a siren for her area, she just gathered up all of the children and took them into the mamad where they would be safe. And that drone hit her preschool. But because for whatever reason, she just decided to move the children into the safe room, every single child was safe. And, you know, is it a coincidence? Is it a miracle? I'm one of those people that tends to fall into the miracle camp. I think things like those are just signs of such beautiful divine intervention. And whatever they are, I'm grateful. You know, on behalf of every single mother or father that had a child in that daycare, wow, I'm grateful. You know, it's things like that every single day over here in Israel, there is absolutely something to be grateful for. It is incredible. Last night, my final gratitude, this was really special. One of our producer partners, actually, Ronelle Barak, she has Cafe Ronelle. She sells tabletop. Some of you may have met Ronelle on a previous live or on a YouTube video. But anyway, Ronelle, her daughter, got married last night, which was absolutely amazing. But what makes it extra special was she got married in Susia. Susia is a town in southern Judea, and right outside modern Susia, and we have some other Lev Haolam producers there. Drumia Winery, Peria Beehives are also in Susia, work with some ceramic artists down there. But right outside the modern town of Susia is an ancient synagogue going back thousands of years. And its ruins are still there. The mosaic that was on the floor was excavated. It's beautiful. And this is where her daughter got married. So there we were in Susia. The sun had gone down, the moon was up, stars were sparkling all across the sky, and it was a beautiful young bride and groom. And, you know, we walked out to where the ancient synagogue stood, and we were able to witness their betrothal there. They had their chuppah there. And I honestly got chill bumps. I thought, I'm standing in a place that thousands of years ago, Jewish couples made the commitment to get married underneath the chuppah, right? This exact place. And it just gave me such a feeling of really deep connection to the land of Israel, to the history of the Jewish people in Israel. It was really magnificent. And something else that was lovely, both the bride and the groom are in the army, in reserve units. And so he has been in Gaza for a long time. She has been on the northern border. They had not seen each other for a month. So this was the first moment that they saw each other after a month. And it was really so beautiful. It was really, it was amazing. And it's moments like that that I just take pause and I think, I am so beyond grateful to be part of this chapter of Israel's history. I don't know what on earth I ever did to merit it, but I am really proud to be part of this moment. And you guys, you know I'm 100% biased. I love Lev Haolam. I'm completely biased, but it is part of my daily gratitude to life. I'm grateful for all of you. I really am. Because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be standing here. So it's in your merit that I'm able to fulfill this part of my part in Israel's story. And I just, every day, I'm deeply thankful for that. I also, the people that I meet on a daily basis, the producers that we work with who are so amazing. Our Lev Haolam team, I've never had a work experience where I so deeply respected and just loved all the people that I work with. And I think it's because we just share such values. We all have those same values. We all love Israel. We all are willing to do everything that we can in a single day to do what we can to support the land of Israel, to help fulfill this chapter of Jewish history in the Holy Land, so it's something so cool, and I don't take it for granted. I don't take you for granted, I feel like at Lev Haolam, it's the most remarkable community. And I think it's almost like an example of what is possible, because we're a very diverse community. We're diverse by country, we're diverse by age, we're diverse by everything that you can be diverse by. But what unifies every single one of us is that we love Israel and we believe in Israel. We believe that this homeland of the Jewish people should exist and it needs to thrive. And we all know that that doesn't happen in a vacuum. That can only happen with a community like this. And I also have to say that I think it's very cool, the interfaith connection, that even though there are many of us with different faiths, what we do share is all of us have a relationship with God. And I think that's really beautiful. And it just shows how it connects people, or how it can connect people instead of dividing people. And I think that's really something so precious and something so special and something so totally Lev Haolam. And I'll tell you something else. Like today I was working at my desk, was on my computer, and Eyal popped by and he said, okay, tell me when do I come join you again? He loves to have these moments to be with you. And I think that's just the beauty of the community. It's awesome. So there's about 1 million gratitudes. I think my mom, she would be so happy right now. She'd be like, okay, you got the lesson. You're doing it the right way. And that's nice. So yeah, tough times, but also times to just be grateful and to thank God. So I wonder what you all are going to be doing. Those of you who are in the States who do Thanksgiving, if you'll be doing big meals, if you'll be getting together with friends and family. And, even those of us who are not in America, I think we can share this moment of Thanksgiving with you. We'll have you in our minds on Thursday. And just from all of us in Israel, I hope that you all have very happy Thanksgiving Day with, connection and friendship and love, that you have a chance to be with people that you care about, that you are grateful for, that you're grateful to have them in your lives, just as, honestly, I'm grateful to have you in my life. I say this at the end of every live, please God, Besorot Tovot, let us have good news. No more pogromy news. And even if the news is tough, that there's silver linings inside, like Elal, and learning about El Al. Actually, I'll tell you a funny story right before I sign off. I guess it's been probably close to 15 years ago. I dated a fellow whose name was El Al, which is kind of an unusual name. I said, how did you get this name? And his father was on the Magic Carpet airlift, and his father was so grateful to El Al for rescuing the family. And then he ended up working for El Al. So when his son was born, he chose to name him El Al, which I thought was just tremendously sweet. And again, Jewish value, Israeli value, the names always mean something, right? Everything connects in some way. So, Melissa, I'm just reading your message now. Thank you. Thank you for all of the prayers, all of the good thoughts, everybody. It's very meaningful to us. We're still going through it. Psalm 23, we're going through the valley, darkness. Hashem tells us, keep going, don't stop. So I do believe that we're going to see amazing days ahead, maybe still a little while. Oh, another gratitude, I did see Yosef. He is, of course, on the northern border with his Golani unit. And he popped in today, had a couple of days off. He's well, he's safe, and he's, I can tell that it's a long war. These guys have been away from home a very long time, and it's hard. It's hard for them, it's hard for their families, but I'm so grateful to our Defense Force and our soldiers who are just giving everything for the land of Israel. Last night at the wedding, there were just so many young soldiers there, and I just looked at them and I thought, please God, keep them safe. These are just young men and women, 18, 19, 20, and they are, serving their country in the most commendable way. It is remarkable. So I could just carry on. There's so much to be grateful for about Israel. It's such a special place. And I'm seeing Debbie. Yeah, I see that you're spiritually, yes, in tune with all of Israel. You guys, you really are. You all are deeply connected to Israel. It's amazing. So I'm wishing you all a good day, the rest of the day, a great week. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks together. And I'm going to say to Rachel's message, may we have peace and prosperity in the land. Amen, amen, amen. I think that is what everybody wants, no matter who they are. Peace and prosperity. That is what we would like. So, my friends, thank you for being with us. We appreciate you and wish you a great day. Bye.